the other, isolating people as a result of a historical event. Within the play, the stereotypes of the other come to life. As much like Othello, Amir exposes the racial prejudice faced due to the regressive attitudes of the society around him. This being shown in Ayat Akhtar's play Disgraced, Abe talks about having American culture as his heritage, stating it's got to be one thing or the other. It can't be all mixed up. This dialogue is extremely symbolic of the issues of hegemonic relationships between cultures and how we didn't have preservation of multiple cultures' celebrations. Further playing into the ideas of how a single story is the driving factor of racism and the continuation of regressive attitudes towards it. Throughout Othello, the idea of gender roles are also addressed. The Elizabethan era being male-dominated resulted in women being considered property of men. Women were labelled as nothing more than sexual satisfaction to them, which once again plays into the idea of being the other. This conception is brought up throughout the play as Shakespeare uses Desdemona to challenge this idea, painting her as a woman of power and self-value. This idea is represented in Act 4, Scene 1, in between a conversation between Othello and Desdemona, as it says, "Devil, I will not stand to offend you." Through the use of imagery, Shakespeare makes us re-evaluate her femininity through a perspective that is both colonial and erotical, further emphasizing Shakespeare's use of Desdemona to challenge the stereotypes of the other, bringing to life the notion of an empowered woman, foreshadowing the futuristic ideals of the modern-day society. The idea of gender is also explored in the play Disgraced. The play being set in the 9/11 era would naturally lead you to believe that gender was a non-factor at the time. Despite of the modern day's ideals set upon our society, attitude towards gender are still very aggressive, as the stereotypes of women are still very much apparent within our society. Actor represents this idea by focusing down on the stereotype of women who openly display their sexuality are often viewed in a negative light. As the play opens with Emily painting Amir in the likes of a voluptuous painting. "Amir, you sure don't want me to put pants on? Emily, I only need you from the waist up. I still don't get it." This scene represented a paradox of the Elizabethan era. Akhtar reverses gender roles as usually women are seen as the object that is gazed upon in a sexual way, placing Amir, the male protagonist, in a place of vulnerability. The idea of gender reverse roles is further represented in Scene 5 as Amir is shown as chastened by life, perhaps even crippled miserably. This quote breaks down how Amir has broken down as a male, breaking his masculine mask being plagued by mental health, similarly playing into the hands of the society around him as Othello did. Akhtar depicts a unique idea of gender, exploring reverse gender roles, making the audience think and sympathize for Amir, playing onto the idea of double standards in society.